Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ninth day of our marketing session on marketing strategies during difficult times. Today, we have Professor Vaibhav Chawla, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, IIT Madras. He obtained his doctoral degree in management from IIM Kozhikode in 2013. His doctoral thesis in the area of sales management explored the linkages between organizational spirituality and salesperson performance. He has received awards during early stage of thesis work at IIM Ahmedabad, 4th Doctoral Consortium 2011, and at 71st AOM Management, Spirituality and Religion Divisions competition for most promising doctoral thesis. His research interests fall into the area of customer service over social media, product returns in e-tailing, service recovery, chatbots and customer services, social media uses in selling, and positive psychology concepts. Example, mindfulness, spirituality, ego in selling. Currently, he is guiding 9 PhD scholars for their research in marketing. His research publications have appeared in journals of international repute, including Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, Journal of Business Ethics, Marketing Intelligence and Planning, and Journal of Human Values. His research has been selected for presentation at many prestigious international conferences, including Global Sales Science Conference 2018 and 19, Academy of Marketing Science World Marketing Congress 2019, American Marketing Association Summer Academic Conference 2019, Academy of Management Conference 2011. He has teaching experience of 7 years and teaches marketing courses like internet marketing, marketing management, strategic management, and marketing research at IIT Madras. He has also conducted sales training sessions for mid-level bank executives of a public sector bank and customer experience and business growth related sessions for distributors and senior executives of Indian Oil. So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation, and we welcome you to the session of ninth day. And now I request Vaibhav sir to continue the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor. It is my pleasure to be here addressing to the audience of this program. May I request you to give me just 1 minute uh, uh, of your
Yes, sir.
time?
Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
1 minute of your time to tell me who is the audience, what is the composition of the audience quickly in a minute.
Sir, actually, the audience maximum all are the students. You say 95% are students, and few of our faculty members are there, or few research scholars joined. So mostly we have students joined.
Okay, and they are in what year of the program?
So they are into the management, BBA and MBA students, PGDM students.
Okay, okay, thank you,
So
thank
they
you.
have the paper of marketing and retail.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to be
Welcome,
addressing
sir.
the students, the faculty, and other guests today. So let me start sharing my slides, and then we will carry on from there. Thank you.
Yes.
Just give me 1 second. Uh, just give me 1 second. I'm, uh, trying to get my presentation over to the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. You take your time, sir.
So I hope you are able to see the. Just let me know when you are able to see the slides.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, and can you also hear me and see me properly?
Yes, sir. The voice is
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Okay, so very good morning to one and all, and I'm thankful to the organizers and coordinators to invite me to address uh, the students, the faculty members, and other guests on the topic of segmentation and targeting. Now, this is a very key topic. Uh, Now, before I start with the topic, I want to let you know the importance of segmentation and targeting. This segmentation, targeting, and positioning, they collectively represent the heart of marketing. It is as important as heart is to a human being. So I give you an example of let's take one example from United States, US. There is burger. There are many burger companies. One is McDonald's, which all of you know. So McDonald's is catering the market segment for people who require tasty burgers and quick burgers. They do not want to wait to get their burgers onto their plate. So they fast service tasty burgers, economical at economical prices. So that is what is the market segment they are addressing. Whereas there is another company called In and Out Burger. So when you go to In and Out Burger store, you are required to wait for 20 minutes to serve the burger. But their burger is fresh buns, fresh vegetables procured directly from the farm. There are no frozen ingredients. There is no fatty things. That is for the healthy audience, healthy customers. So you see, in the same industry, the restaurants who are serving burgers, okay, fast food specifically serving burgers, there are two players, McDonald's and In and Out Burger. They both are serving different market segments. Okay, McDonald's is serving a market segment who require quick food at economical prices and which should be very tasty. They don't care about the health factor. The other is In and Out Burger. They are catering to those burger eaters, burger lovers who require healthy burgers, who are willing to wait for 20 minutes, but who require healthy ingredients, fresh vegetables into their burger. So they don't care much about the taste, but about the health factor in the burger, about the ingredients, and they also don't care about much about the price, because the price of In and Out Burger is comparatively higher than what McDonald's give the burgers for. So here you see in the single industry, two players are serving different segments. So let me now come to India. In India, if you see Uber and Ola, the taxi services, app-based taxi services, so they are serving the same market segment. Whereas you take the case of Zoomcar. Now Zoomcar is a company, it is a self-driving app service, app taxi, taxi-based app service. So Zoomcar, the concept is you download their application. It is serving self-drive cars. You can use their app to find Zoomcar's self-drive cars near your home and get it at your home, and then you can self-drive rather than Uber and Ola, where the taxi is there and you are just going as a customer and you are just sitting and there is a driver which is taking you to your destination. Now so Zoomcar, the segment is different from Uber and Ola. So Zoomcar, the segment is those people who love to enjoy driving their cars, who love to have more privacy while they are riding their cars, and who are more environmentally concerned, who do not have their own cars, not because maybe because they don't want to invest in owning their cars, but also because they are more environmentally concerned. That is why they don't own their car. So whereas Ola and Uber customers are, they are just the customers who want to travel from one place to another in car, at economical prices, and they may or may not want to drive on their own. But whereas Zoomcar, where it is the self-driving concept. So again, Zoomcar is targeting a different, is catering to a different market segment as compared to Ola and Uber, who have a different market segment. I give you one more example of companies in US. There are taxi-based, app-based taxi services company. There is one company called Hertz. Now, this company provides taxi services, app-based taxi services, again from the airports and railway stations. Now, in US, in most of the cities, the airports and railway stations, they are located far away from they are not in the city, they are away from the city. So it is catering to customers who are there in airports and railway stations and who want to maybe come in the city or travel somewhere from the airport or the railway station. Whereas there is another company, Enterprise Car. Now it has its taxi services within the city for local customers. So one is catering to, Hertz is catering to the visitors who are coming from outside to the airport and railway station, whereas Enterprise Car is catering to customers who are within the city. So you see, same industry, both are taxi services, app-based taxi services, but both are catering to different market segments. So here you see, segmentation is a very key to competition. As you see from the examples I gave you, if you are another company which are jumping into, suppose you have a startup and you app-based taxi startup tomorrow. Suppose you start a startup, app-based taxi startup, and you go in competition to Uber and Ola and target the same market segment which they are targeting. So which means you are jumping into the same pool. You are trying to compete with already existing players by targeting the same market segment which they are targeting. So which means you are jumping in a pool where already there are other crocodiles. Okay, so the market segment is same. There is already Uber and Ola, and you are further jumping. So which means you are jumping in a pool which has already aggressive competition. Whereas your choice of segment could be like Zoomcar, where you are not competing with Ola and Uber, but with a different set of customers. You are targeting different set of customers. Likewise, in the case of Enterprise Car and Hertz, Hertz is a very old company. It was targeting visitors who come to cities on the airports and railway stations and who want a rental car, whereas Enterprise Car is for local city-based people who want to travel within the city. So you see, Enterprise Car came much later, and it is avoiding direct competition with Hertz because it is targeting a different market segment, which means within the same kind of product category, you can exist along with your competitors. You can be in a position where you do not invite aggressive competition by choosing to target a different market segment. So here it is segmentation. As I am saying, it is very key because segmentation can lead you to two things. One is either competition to be the best or competition to be unique. Competition to be the best means you are jumping into the same pool where already competitors are, and then you are trying to be the best. That is a very difficult approach. Second thing, which what segmentation could give you, there is OR option. The second option is segmentation gives you an opportunity to be unique, to not jump into the same pool where already there are bigger players, but to identify a unique market segment where you can be the only big player or you can be the major player and cater to the needs of the customer without getting into direct competition with the existing players. So I hope you all understand what is market and market segment. If not, let me quickly repeat. Market is a total set of customers who have interest to buy your product, who have interest to buy your product, which means who have willingness to buy your product, who have money to buy your product, and who have access to your product. So that is the concept of market. When we talk about market in marketing, that is the concept of market. And then what is so market? What it means? Three things. One is they have a interest to buy, money to buy, and access to buy. So this all constitute your market, as well as it constitute existing and potential customers who are willing, who have money, and who have access. Now, what is a market segment? That is a chunk of the complete market, which you want to target. Within that chunk, the needs are similar, and outside that chunk, the needs are different. So that is what is market segment. I will be, talking more about these in a while. So where does segmentation comes in the scheme of things? So whenever we are making a marketing plan we make for any product, all products. If your company has 100 products, you make marketing plan for 100 products. Each brand, each product should have a different marketing plan, and where the segmentation and targeting comes, when we are making the marketing plan, they come here in the middle. You see segmentation and targeting. They are done after you understand the background context of your business, including the industry, customer, competitor, company, and complementer, which is also collaborator, and after you set the objectives, what your product or brand wants to achieve. So generally, these three are the major concepts which is the heart of marketing: market segmentation, targeting, and positioning. I'll represent. I'll use the board now. I think let me use the board now. Any doubts you have? Any doubts you have as of now?
Sir, PowerPoint is freezed, sir. Only first page is showing.
Sorry?
PowerPoint is freezed. Only first page is showing.
PowerPoint is freeze. Yes, I actually took it off. Now I want you to focus on the board. So can you see my board?
Yes.
Okay, so let me take the example of segmentation, targeting, positioning. Some example to understand, to help you understand what is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Suppose this is the market for shampoo. People who have interest to buy shampoo, who have money, and who have access to buy shampoo. Suppose this represents a set of existing and potential customers. Now, in this market, without segmenting, I can give one shampoo product for everybody. But I know in the market, different customers have different needs, different benefits they want to derive from shampoo. Some may want to use shampoo for stopping hair fall. Some may want to use shampoo for getting the silky hair. Some may want to use shampoo for getting shiny hair. Some may want to use shampoo for suppose anti-dandruff. So which means if you do not segment the market but offer a single product, then you may not be able to cater to the needs of the market. Okay, so why we do segmentation? Because we understand that in the market there are customers with different needs, and based upon the needs, you should make your product. So this is the total market. Suppose there are segments. So this is segment which want to use shampoo for anti-hair fall. This is the anti-dandruff. silky hair, suppose. So what I have done is the total market I have divided into. So in the process of market segmentation, what I do is I divide I first of all understand the total market and then divide the market based upon the different needs of the customers in that market. If you look at, there are 4 segments which are drawn. This is the segment which wants to use shampoo for anti-hair fall, for getting the benefit of anti-hair fall. They do not want primarily for this benefit. This is the segment which wants to get rid of dandruff by using shampoo primarily. This is the first benefit they want to, first benefit they would want from the shampoo. This is the segment which wants to use shampoo to get silky and smooth hair. This is the most important benefit this particular segment wants. And this segment wants shiny hair by using the shampoo. So if you see, each segment has a different need when it comes to using shampoo. So which means when we are doing segmentation, we are dividing the total market into segments. Within each segment, the customer are homogeneous in terms of the needs, the benefits they seek from the product. Whereas across the segments, between this segment, they are different in terms of what benefits they desire. So suppose you do not segment the market but make a single product. When you make a single product, then either you can say that my shampoo has properties which can take care of all these things. You know, when you talk about my shampoo can do everything, people are not going to believe you. Neither your shampoo will be effective to get rid of all these 4 benefits. So what happens is you divide the market into segments based upon needs of the customer and try to make shampoos, different shampoos for either 1 or 2 or 3 or all the segments, depending upon whether we will see target. So segmentation is dividing the market into different segments based upon difference in the needs of the customer. Targeting is out of these 4 segments, which segments I should target, which means which segments I should make the product for. So is there a certain bit of clarity here? Did you get what is market segmentation?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts you have? You can quickly ask me.
So when 2 particular segments overlap with each other, is it profitable for a marketer to make the product?
So you are saying if 2 segments overlap?
Yes, sir.
See, segments definitely, as I am saying, each segment is different from the other segment in terms of the benefits it is seeking from the product. Okay, so the segment cannot, so there cannot be an overlap. So you make the segments in such a way that the benefits the one segment desire is different from the benefits which the other segment desire.
So like you give the example of the shampoo, like some shampoos have 2 or 3 benefits. So like they have particularly 2 or 3 segments in that particular product. So in that case, not overlap.
Some of the shampoos, correct. So some of the shampoos would say that it is having multi benefits. Correct. So, you know, if you see that 2 of the benefits, they are strongly complementing each other. And if your market is, you know, willing to suppose many times we are seeing now shampoo plus conditioner in a single one. So instead of using shampoo separately and conditioner separately, people want to use it once. So then, yes, you need to think of if there is a huge chunk of the market which is requiring to use a single shampoo which serves conditioner benefits as well as, you know, anti-dandruff, then it is better that you you would identify, you dissect a segment from your total market, which is actually primarily looking to use shampoo, which gives conditioner as well as shampoo, as well as one of the benefits of the shampoo, which is anti-dandruff. So this is one of the simple example I said. You can actually dissect in many ways. As we go deeper into the topic, I will make it little more complicated, make it little more closer to reality. So this was a simple illustration, but as you said, many shampoos, they are serving multiple benefits. Because why they are serving? Because there is a market to it. There is customers who are, as I gave the example of shampoo plus conditioner, because there are customers who want not to use two products. They want the multiple benefits in a single product of conditioner and shampoo. But at the same point of time, if there is a shampoo which says I can do everything, anti-dandruff, anti-repair, silky, shiny, and everything, it has 5-in-1, suppose. And so what happens is, one is that shampoo cannot effectively address each of the problems as the other shampoos, which can effectively shoot towards the single benefit they are made for. So just take for the example, suppose the students after their +2, they prepare for law exam also, they prepare for IIT exam also, they prepare for medical exam also. If they are preparing for everything, they would not be effectively able to do anything. So that is the same thing here. If a company says, I will try to make a product 5-in-1, so what will happen is, it will lose with other products who are specific for that segment. So that is why we do segmentation, and we target the product to a specific segment based upon 1 or 2 benefits maximum which they desire. Because that is what the companies would be able to do effectively. If we try to do everything, we would end up nowhere. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So let me take you through another example to make it more clear. Now, suppose this represents the population of IIT Madras. Since I am from IIT Madras, let me take the example from here. This represents all the customers of IIT, all the people in IIT Madras who are tea drinkers. This represents the market of tea drinkers in IIT, those who have interest to consume tea, those who have money and access to the tea stall. Okay, and suppose there is only one tea stall. Let me take a very simple example. This one, say. So this is the market of all the tea drinkers in IIT, and suppose there is only one tea stall which serves. So you know that some people like to drink hot tea, some people like to drink iced tea. But this person, this is an old man, old tea stall, not knowing the business fundamentals. So he is serving only warm tea. So there is no other option for people because there is only one tea stall and he is serving warm tea. He is not serving hot tea or iced tea. People do not have any other option. This seller does not understand the segmentation, does not understand the benefits the different people, different set of customers in IIT desire. He's just serving warm tea and he's getting good business because there is no other tea stall. So people willingly or unwillingly, they have to go here. Now comes the second seller who understands that there are customers who require hot tea. There are customers who desire iced tea. So he comes and he segments the market into two halves. He understands there are people who would want hot tea, there are people who would want iced tea. Now he is making two products. He is making hot tea for hot tea drinkers, iced tea for iced tea drinkers. What happens? This seller is losing business to this person. All the customers are migrating to this new seller. This is the old seller. This is the new seller because he has understood segmentation. He is making specific product for each segment of the market. Now, what this old seller would do? He attended the classes on segmentation and targeting, and then what he did is let's see what he did. So this is the first level segmentation. Now what he did is old seller. This is the new seller. What he did is he understood from the new seller that there are two segments and they require different products. But he did second level of segmentation. He understood that yes, there is hot tea segment and iced tea, but it can be further segmented into sweet tea, which means with sugar sweet tea, unsweetened tea. There are a lot of people who are 30 plus, 35 plus, 40 plus, and so on, who do not want sugar in their tea, whether it is iced tea or normal tea. So he understood that he can further divide these two segments into using one more criteria of sweet and unsweet. So what he did use one more criteria, and he knows that there are four segments: hot sweet tea, ice sweet tea, hot unsweet tea, ice unsweet tea. And now he has started supplying four specific products for each and every segment, and he is winning back customers from the new seller. This is what is the market segmentation do. Market segmentation, it divides the market based upon the needs, based upon the different benefits the customer in the market desire. And then second step is then you have to decide among this 4 or 5 segments which you have got, which particular segment you will go after. That is the lesson of targeting, which we will be doing in the later part of this session. So I'll be making it little more complicated as we move on. So here, till here, I think the things would be clear. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So let me share the screen now, and give me 1 second, just 1 second. Sometimes presentation goes away. So are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me hurry up and move on, because there are many other complicated things in segmentation which we need to understand. This is the simplest example which I explained you on the whiteboard. Let us not. So if you want to quickly read through the definition of a market segment, this is what is the definition. I think it is self-explanatory. You can quickly read it through. To make it simple, just that the a market segment has customer within itself which has similar set of benefits they desire. Okay, you can think of it in terms of out of the whole market which wants to purchase a smartphone, one of the market segment is which want the primary benefit of a very high quality camera. So they are purchasing new phone because of high quality. They desire a better quality camera and photo. And there could be other segments which want to purchase for other benefits. Somebody for some other segment for the battery, some other segments for gaming. And this is one of the simple way to understand, but I will be complicating it little bit as we move on, so that your doubts related to what if 2 benefits are desired, 3 benefits are desired, we will come to that. So I gave this example of the shampoo market. Let me not stop over here since we have already discussed this. I think it is also very well understood that why we should segment, because we cannot effectively address all customers with a single product, and even if we try to do that, we will fail miserably, because there cannot be a single product effectively serving all the markets, and it cannot do as well as other players who are serving only one need. So you see McDonald's, they also don't just see one market for its products. So for children, they have happy prices in the Happy Meal box. For family, they come out because of the convenience of eating out, because McDonald's stores are there now within 1 to 2 kilometers of in the cities near our houses. And adults may be the grand prize in the latest contest. Now, one question is how long we can keep doing segmentation. See, it is possible to keep doing segmentation till we get each and every customer in a single segment, but that is not the correct way of doing it. We want to do segmentation till we keep getting market segments which are larger enough for us to make the product for which we can be profitable. So we should not keep doing segmentation to chunk out small market segments from the total market endlessly. We should stop where the sizes are no longer profitable or sizes are no longer large. And the customer, once you are making a specific product for each and every market segment based upon the benefits they desire, if you provide this specific product, providing that particular benefit, people will be less price conscious because they are getting that particular benefit from your product which they desire. So if you look at, the hotels, Taj hotels, they have, different products, different hotel chains based upon different market segments. So they have Vivanta, they have Taj Exotica, they have Ginger for, economy business travelers. So likewise, they have different market segments. Same is the case with the Marriott. If we talk about the hand watch industry, you look at the Tata watches or Titan. Titan has Raga. Titan has Fast Track. Titan has they have different range of brands for different market segments. Again, based upon the segmentation scheme they are able to use. This is another example of two-level segmentation. So if we are looking at the housing market, which means the customers who are looking to buy a house for themselves. First level segmentation is there are people who are looking to buy houses for the investment purposes. There are people who are looking to buy houses for increasing their status for status purposes. Third one is for shelter purposes. And then within status, you can further dissect the market into people who want to buy flat versus bungalow versus penthouse and so on. So this is multi-level segmentation. This example of multi-level segmentation I already gave you for the T. So there are 2 levels of segmentation we used. So any doubts you have right now, you can ask. Otherwise, I can proceed to the next lesson. Any doubts you have?
No, sir.
No.
Can you give me example of certain products or services which have segmented the market, and there are different products and services for different market segments? Anybody? Just think a little bit on what products and services which you are using, which you use at your home, in your daily course of things. Are they segmented for a particular market segment?
Sir, green tea.
Green tea, yes, very good. So can you elaborate more on that, Chandan?
Sir, actually, they targeted on particularly for weight loss and for healthy purposes, and they don't don't copy with any other segment of any market.
Very good, Chandan.
They only focused on their fat loss.
Very good, Chandan. Very good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Any other example? Very good, Chandan. You can mute now. Thank you. Any other example? Okay, if there is no more examples, let me proceed further and try to, in the next course of things, try to complicate it a little bit and introduce that the customer in all these different market segments, they differ definitely in terms of the benefits they desire, but in the order. So what I'm saying is there are different market segments. They would differ in the order they desire different benefits. So earlier we were talking about each market segment. Primarily, we were focusing only on one benefit. But what happens in reality? There may be different benefits. There may be 4 benefits. Suppose 4 different benefits. What I'm trying to say is the segments, they differ in their need, in their order of priority of their seeking the benefit. So let's talk about if we talk about the shampoo example. So I said that one of the market segment is taking shampoo for anti-hair fall, other one for silky hair, another one for anti-dandruff, and the fourth one for shiny hair. So I was saying that each of these market segments are different from each other because each one is desiring a distinct benefit. Yes, it is true, but it is also true that people may desire 2 or 3 benefits, but in different order of priority. So let me reframe my statement that different market segments, they differ from each other based upon difference in their priority of the benefits they desire. Okay, it does not mean that a market segment which is primarily focusing to buy a new phone. So in a smartphone market, if there is a market segment in a smartphone market, if there is a market segment which is specifically looking to buy a new phone with high quality camera, with a suppose very high quality camera, it does not mean that they may overlook other benefits. It just means that this is the primary benefit they are looking for. There may be second benefit, but in lower order of importance. There may be third benefit, but in lower order of importance. So suppose this is the smartphone market. Okay, so this is the segment which is looking for high quality camera. So this is the order of their priority of the benefits they desire. First one is high quality camera, suppose. Second one is high quality video. Third one is suppose slim design. Fourth one is economical. So these are the benefits this camera, this segment, which is camera lovers, suppose, let us call this segment as camera lovers. So this is the priority in which they desire different benefits. Whereas if we look at other segments, suppose as gamer segment, so first benefit, they require powerful processor for gaming. So this is the first benefit. Second is high quality video. Third is high battery. Fourth is suppose high camera. Okay. Now you see the priority of needs here and here differ. And if you suppose this is gamers, this is camera, let's look at other segment which so there are business segment who would want more the phones with high battery and economical, suppose long battery life. Second, economical. This is small and medium businesses, suppose that segment. Those people who are either in service class or who are into small and medium businesses, who are running small businesses, suppose, not medium business, small businesses. So this is long battery life, economical and handy. So you look at different needs. They have multiple needs, but they differ in the priority of benefits they desire. This camera segment, they desire high quality camera. That is the first one. But that does not mean they do not require other benefits, but this is their priority. So generally we try to focus as marketers on providing excellent product on first two benefits, and that is how we see, whereas other benefits can be on an average to the market, whatever is the average quality in the market, we try to provide that or at average quality, but excellent on other two features, the first two features they desire. So this is how in reality it works. Now the next lesson which we are proceeding is how to do segmentation. Now we learned what is market segment, what is segmentation, how do different market segments differ in their needs, in their priority of needs. Now the next topic is how should we now segment, having known what is market segment and market segmentation. So there are two approaches to develop market segments. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
So there are two approaches to develop the market segment. One is by identifying the differing customer needs first among all the market segments, which means first approach is first we will identify how different market segments differ with respect to their needs order of priority or the benefit order of priority. And then second step is we identify their descriptors, which means their demographic, psychographic characteristics. The second approach is we start with their demographic, psychographics, and then make sure that they differ in their needs. So I am very sure you would not have understood what I said, but I will move forward and help you tell these two ways with the help of examples. Okay, so let us look at this particular example where there is a company, suppose Ponds, they want to, suppose they are doing for the market of skincare cream, they did a market research to identify whether there are different segments which require different benefits in or whether there are market segments who have different order of the benefits they desire. So this is the first step. They made different statements for different benefits their customers desire, right from 10 years old female to 60 years old female. So they did survey with thousands and thousands of customers, and this is what they got. So they identified that there are 6 types of needs for which females use the skincare cream. One is beauty, confidence, economy, health, sexual allure, status, and youthfulness. And you see there are 7 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 segments which differ in the benefit order of priority. The first segment, it looks to use skincare cream for status and confidence. Look at the number 1 and number 2 in the second column after the benefits. This column, the first one where numbers are given, it wants to use cream for status and confidence, for increasing their status and confidence. Whereas look at this next column, it wants to use skincare cream for sexual attraction and confidence. Look at the third one, it wants to use for beauty and sexual attraction. The fourth one, youthfulness and beauty. The fifth one for youthfulness and beauty again, and the sixth one. So Fourth and fifth one, you can still combine together to make a single segment. And the sixth one is for youthfulness and health. So this is the first step in the first method. The first method I am saying of doing market segmentation is customer needs first. That is the method we are discussing. How using customer needs first and descriptors second, we can identify different market segments. So using this first method of customer needs first, we have first identified what are the different segments based upon different order of their priority of benefits. Now, second step in this customer needs first process is, what should be the second step? You people tell me. What should be the second step? So once you identify that there are, so just like that, once you identify that there are different market segments. Suppose we have Chandan. So Chandan, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose we have different smartphone, you know, here are different market segments for smartphones. Can your classmates, just by looking at you, identify which market segment you belong to?
Sir. No, sir.
Correct. So can you, just by looking at your classmates like Swastik, Jaya, Sukanya, can you put them into certain market segment?
No, sir.
You cannot. So what you require is, you require certain descriptors, visible descriptors, based upon which you identify who are the people who fall into this segment, that segment. Likewise,
Like, sir, properties.
that is the property, that is the visible indicators which help you identify who are the people in that particular segment. So first step is, you identify there are market segment with different needs priority, different benefit priority. The second step is, you should also know how to identify people who fall into that. So that is the descriptors, how to identify descriptors. So first step is identify needs order for the market segments. Second is using descriptors to identify. So if you look at the example here, so what are the descriptors which were identified through the survey? Age. So here if you look at, if a female falls between the 14 to 18 years of age, she is requiring she wants to use face cream for status and confidence, which means if you are making a skincare cream, make sure you make the cream for 14 to 18-year-old female, which is giving them benefit of status and confidence. So in your communications, in the product ingredients and everything, you should have more of those components which give them these benefits. If you compare it with 19 to 29, they want to use skincare creams more to increase their sexual attraction and confidence. The third segment, 30 to 39, they want for beauty and sexual attraction. Whereas if you look at the old age, the women after 40 and 65, they want to use for youthfulness. So which means you should have different products for different segments. This is one of the ways to do segmentation. Identify the needs first, then identify the descriptors. Correct? Now, there was a question earlier that what if there will be overlap? So can there be overlap by using this method?
Yes, sir.
What overlaps are there?
Sir, maybe like between 14 to 18 age peoples and 19 to 29 age peoples, their choices may be same.
So one way is either you can make two different products for these two segments.
Yes, sir.
See, you look at 14 to 18, they want to use cream for increasing their status, whereas 19 to 29, they want more for sexual attraction. So which means you cannot combine these two. Maybe in
Sir,
your
but there is some possibilities for the overlap, na sir. Maybe 14 to 18
there
and
is possibility for overlap, but as I said, you should look at whether there are two segments which have similar primary and first and second benefit. So there are two segments, 50 to 64 and 65 and over. They want first benefit as youthfulness and second benefit as 50 to 64 want second benefit as beauty, whereas 65 and over want health. So which means here also you cannot combine. There is minimal overlap, but you see you have to make different products for different market segments. So when you do market segmentation like this, you get minimal overlap and you get segments which require different products for different benefits they desire, or different priority of benefits they desire. So that is how companies, they do segmentation. What is the second
Hello?
method to do market segmentation?
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you please explain it again? Like this overlapping part?
See, overlapping part, what I am saying is, as I told you that we need to look at not all the 6 benefits for each segment, just look at the first and second benefit. If there are segments which have similar first and second benefits, then you can combine those segments together and make a single product. But if they differ in either the first benefit they desire or the second benefit, then you should make different products for them.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this is one of the good ways to segment it. So you make several statements, questions on the needs, and add questions on descriptors, and run a survey with thousands of customers. You will be able to do this first method. Now, what is the second method? Second method is to start with descriptors first and hope that. So again, I tell you to look at the board now so that I can explain the second method. Suppose for the clothing market, so the second method of doing market segmentation I am explaining, but it is not very, very correct. But companies use those who do not understand the market segmentation very well. Those companies, they use the second method with the hope that they end up with the segments which differ in their needs. So a simple example I am telling you of the clothing market. In the clothing market, you look at every player, they segregate the market based upon gender. So here we are segregating market not based upon need, but based upon descriptor, male, female, with the hope that males have a different needs when it comes to clothing than females, which is mostly correct. That is why this method is we use descriptor first. So we using male, female, we divided market into 2 segments. And we hope that male and female, they differ in terms of their clothing needs, which is true to some extent, most extent. In case of clothing, it is correct. But for many of the products, the descriptor way of using descriptor first, with the hope that the segments we make with the help of descriptors will differ in their needs, it does not come out to be true. Suppose for a product like green tea. For green tea, can we divide the market into male and female?
No, sir.
Can we divide?
Yes, sir.
Sorry?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what you are saying is that female, they want to, they look for different set of benefits from green tea than males, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what, can you please tell me what benefits female look for and what benefits male look for in green tea?
Sir, actually, females looks for more fat burn than males. So actually, females prefers green tea more than males because uh, males don't males don't prefer.
Health
See,
conscious.
yeah. Somebody else is trying to say something. Yeah, somebody else.
Male are
Male,
more
female.
than male.
So,
So but
yeah, go ahead. Suman, who was trying to speak? Please go ahead.
Sir, generally females are more health conscious than male. Like green tea is also targeting the female sector, like Kellogg's are only targeting for the females.
See, if you look at, try to gather the evidence, you will find that there is no difference in the gender when it comes to the kind of benefits they desire from the green tea. I also drink green tea for, because it has antioxidants, it prevents fat loss, and it improves health. Whereas my wife also drinks green tea. So do I desire different benefits from the green tea?
No, sir.
Are there males in the class who are drinking green tea?
Yes, sir.
Why do you drink green tea? To the males, I want to ask this question. To the male students in the class, why do you drink green tea?
So it is basically health benefit, antioxidant and all. And in this context, we cannot divide green tea into male and female category.
Correct.
It is
Very good. Sarthak, who was talking?
Shiva Prasad.
Shiva Prasad, very good. So, the problem with the dividing the market with the descriptor first, with hope that once you divide with the descriptors, the needs will be different. It does not happen for most of the products, just like green tea. Males and females, they do not differ in their in the benefits they desire from green tea. They desire the mostly similar type of benefit. So what could be appropriate way?
Right.
You can divide the market based upon, there are other criterias. One is, what criteria we could use? Health consciousness. There are people who are health conscious. There are people who are not much health conscious. So health conscious people would exercise, would not consume more exercise, would not consume more sugar. So these are the people who are, so you can divide your, if you want to use descriptors, you cannot use male and female, which are demographic descriptors, but you can use psychographic descriptors. What are psychographic descriptors? They are the descriptors which describe lifestyle of a person. What they consume, what they do with their money, where they spend their money, where they spend their time, what is their opinion about the environment, what is their opinion about the politics. So there are people who are similar in the lifestyle. So if you look at health conscious people, they would have a similar lifestyle as compared to not much health conscious people. So based upon two lifestyles, you can divide so health conscious, you can say that green tea For green tea, we can divide the market into non-health conscious and health conscious. Using the what is the descriptor, lifestyle descriptor we are using? Health consciousness and non-health consciousness. You can identify people based upon their habits, that who is health consciousness, who is more health conscious, who is not. So this is dividing based upon a lifestyle descriptor, with the hope that the two segments based upon the lifestyle descriptor would differ. And yes, they are differing. In this case, they may differ. You can further segment health consciousness into two. That is multi-level segmentation. So you can keep on segmenting also. So you can have multiple segments in health conscious also. So suppose somebody, they want health benefit. So this is mostly health benefit, but some people would also want the green tea which tastes well, which smells very well, which is, suppose maybe other benefits also we can put, and likewise we can divide health consciousness into further. So which means green tea which is for health conscious segment, we can further make green tea for sub segments in the health consciousness segment to make different types of green tea. That is multi-level segmentation. But the method I showed you is first method is starts with the need, then identify descriptors. The other method is start with the descriptor, and then you hope that based upon descriptors, your segments differ in their needs. But what is the important condition to say that a market has different segments? Different market segments should differ, must differ in their need order of priority. If they do not differ, they cannot be called as different market segments. Am I making sense here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me quickly go on to the second method. Various companies, they use the descriptor variable first and hope that they segregate the market based upon descriptor variables, with the hope that the segments they arrive at, they differ in terms of their needs. But most of the time it is not correct, unless the product is as the clothing, which we know that for genders, different gender clothing requirements are different, and so on. So these are the descriptors which can be used to identify the markets. Geographic is, it is self-explanatory based upon different geography. So suppose a clothing company making woolen wear for North Indians and South Indians. In South India there is not much winters, whereas in North India there is very cold winters. So they would make so this is two segments. So which means for southern part there is very light winter, so they can make the products accordingly, as compared to the northern part where are very chilly winters. So where in North India, when they purchase woolen products, they purchase not for the light winters but for the heavy winters, whereas in southern India people may purchase for light winters. So that is one way of for a company which is making woolen wear. Okay, then it can further segment into female and male. In North India, female and male would have different requirements for woolen wear. But so that is multi-level segmentation. One is geographic segmentation, north south, then in north male female. But we are using descriptor variable to segment the market, with the hope that the mini segments we are getting, they differ in their needs. If these segments do not differ in their needs, they cannot be called as segments. Demographic, when we segment based upon age, gender, family size, family life cycle, income, occupation, education, race, social class, religion, and so on. gender segmentation, self-explanatory slide. Now, psychographic segmentation, as I said, it is the lifestyle segmentation. You use the lifestyle variables to segregate the market into different segments. So, lifestyle could be healthy lifestyle versus non-healthy lifestyle, relaxed lifestyle. So, you can divide the market based upon the kind of lifestyle. Lifestyle is a composition of activities, opinions, and interests. What activities people like to engage in free time? What are the opinions they hold about politics, about the celebrities, about the world, about the environment? So all these opinions, interests, what are they interested to see? Are they interested in cricket or basketball or so sports interest or other interests? Are they interested in reading or reading in their free time or engaging in brisk walk or engaging in sports? That is what is their interest. So based upon all these, you can segregate the market with the hope that with these variables, these segments you arrive, they differ in their needs. So green tea example, we have already seen that we cannot segregate the market based upon the gender and age, but based upon the psychographic variable like lifestyle, healthy lifestyle versus the lazy, or not lazy I should say, but relaxed lifestyle. So we can also segment the market based upon customer behaviors, based upon whether they are heavy users, medium users, and low users of the product. But the idea is, if we divide the segment based upon, again, these descriptor behavioral variables, the different segments should differ in terms of their need profiles. So that is the condition. So this is the process to identify market segments. Again, it is very, very self-explanatory. You can just quickly go through the slide. So there is a quantitative approach we use to identify different segments, that is called cluster analysis. And I'm not going to get into the cluster analysis technique, which gives you segmentations, different segments. I think we teach this as a part of cluster analysis in the market research course. But in the cluster analysis, you develop, so this is the approach.